Good evening, YouTubers, fellow reloaders, restorers, collectors, hoarders, tinkerers, hobbyists, woodworkers, and whatever else I'm going to forget to mention. These two packages, obviously you can tell what this is going to be when I unwrap it. This is the culmination of almost 9 months. So this is video number 2, final video, for the video that I made in late June of 2022. So here we are at mid-March, and I got a call from our folks at Nighthawk to fork over bucks and have my Nighthawk Colt shipped back to me. So if you recall, and some people didn't agree with my decision, I found what I would call a decent haven't even had any medicine or tea, a decent donor gun. And it also happened to be a Black Army, and I went over why it's a Black Army with the grip panel cutouts, the heart-shaped grip panel cutouts with all the other markings that indicated it was a Black Army, as well as the serial number that put it at 1919. So this gun is now 104 years old, which I think is absolutely cool balloons. But I sent it off to Nighthawk to do their Nighthawk Colt work, their treatment. And I'll read you what that treatment actually was. And this comes from my invoice that I'm reading. There's a piece of it. Customer supplied pistol, Colt 45, received 6/28/2022. Miscellaneous custom work. Custom Colt Series 70 package on customer supplied pistol includes high cut trigger guard and machine vertical serrations on front strap, French border, Nighthawk custom engraved in script on dust cover, install Nighthawk custom match barrel bushing, full reliability enhancement and action tune, match grade trigger job with Harrison design retro hammer, Nighthawk custom carry beaver tail grip safety, Nighthawk custom flat mainspring housing with vertical serrations to match the front strap, Nighthawk custom grip screw bushings, flush and reverse crown barrel, full detail prep dehorn, custom smoked nitride finish, Nighthawk custom gold bead front sight, Harrison design retro rear sight, test fired for reliability using 200 grain wad cutter, 230 grain jacket to hollow point, and 230 grain full metal jacket, and zeroed with 200 grain I don't remember what, swaged wad cutter. And then I received it today. Today is St. Patrick's Day, so I got a call earlier this week, so I picked it up earlier today. And in keeping with the Nighthawk custom one gunsmith one, so I'm covering up the serial number, so obviously the 612 will match what's on the gun and what was on video number 1. But that's a pretty nice shot group that was I believe bench rest at 12 yards with 200 grain wad cutter, 45 ACP. And again, the date of this test firing was 3/13. So very fast, and this was done by Thomas Berry of this team of 7. So very, very cool. Very, very cool. So before we get to the pistol, and at some point I'll show, I don't recall if I took close-ups of this pistol before I sent it off. You can watch the original video. I don't think the original video, I did spend some time on talking about the pitting under the grip panels, but I don't think the original video actually showed how much wear, I'm not going to say damage, how much wear was on the original. But these are all of the replaced components. So we'll kind of dump this bag of goodies out. Obviously, guide rod spring, flat spring, hammer and strut, bushing, trigger and bow. That's some old stuff right there. Cool old stuff. Safety slash takedown. Original-ish, or it's whatever rear sight was in there previously. Firing pin spring. Mainspring housing spring. This was the front sight with that paint, the orange paint. Sear, what am I leaving off? Sear slash disconnector. I believe this hangs down. I can't remember how that goes. I think it goes like that. Actually, it goes like this inside the gun. So sear, the original grip safety, and the mainspring housing that was in there that is not original to the gun because it should be flat. So these were all of the pieces that were replaced with the Colt package, I'll say. So these are keepers. I think that's very cool that they return all that stuff as part of what I'll call the package, just in case I come across an old Black Army 1911 that is missing a few pieces. All right, now on to the good stuff. Let's undo my clean but not white towel. I love using the white towels for there it is. I don't know if you remember the original grips. Again, serial number 612. So the work that they did, and hopefully I'll try and show as much as possible. That is the Nighthawk bushing with the, I'm assuming that's an 11-ish degree crowning. The Nighthawk sight, gold bead. The shadow nitride finish, which I don't know how nicely the light is picking this up. It's stunning, for lack of a better term. And if you remember the old video, the top of this slide was not in the best condition. Again, that serial number 7791193 from the Ordnance Depot, from the original video. Again, February 14th, December 19th, 1905, February 14th, 1911, August 19th, 1913. The rampant Colt in the center. Property, United States property. Some people were talking about, oh, that's kind of blingy with the Nighthawk custom. I'm going to say to each their own. Model of 1911 U.S. Army. Again, the finish is just, in person, absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of like a grayish, when I was into photography at a younger age, like a sepia tone. So it's like a brown gray, a weathered kind of look. Absolutely stunning. The serration cuts for the front strap. The flat mainspring housing for the rear serration cuts to match the front. The French border, the ball cuts, the softening of all the edges. I mean, it feels great. The trigger, the hammer, the beaver tail, and how it's fitted. And I don't know if you can see this. Let me grab another towel. But it's tighter than it was. And by that I mean when you rack it, the rattle isn't what it was. And when you listen to this racking, again, go back to the first video, and it doesn't sound like this. It's a tighter gun. And the trigger, again, is just amazing. And I did some measuring, and I'll do that on screen as well. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Plunger cover for the safety as well as the takedown. Nothing was done to the magazine. And I don't think you can see it, but the polishing of the feed ramp versus the barrel. Again, the original finish is still on the barrel, and then they cleaned up around the opening. Again, everything's been softened. The rear sight, it is just a beautiful piece of work, again, in my opinion. There will be folks who see this and call what I've done sacrilegious, and I'm okay with that. I don't have any issues with that. The gun feels absolutely amazing. And let's go for that that trigger pull. I don't believe I did a trigger pull. I don't know if you can see that. That is just under 4 pounds. That was 3 3/4 pounds. And there will be people that'll say, "Oh, you shouldn't just cock the hammer." So we'll pull the slide back. Again, 3 3/4. Three and 3/4. This trigger feels absolutely amazing. And after talking with Bob Reeves at Nighthawk and hearing what he had to say about shooting and the accuracy of the gun, you know, his comment was, go out and shoot it and enjoy it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, because again, the idea behind this was to find the donor quality gun. And the pitting, there is still pitting. They could not eliminate the pinning because it's there, it's in the metal. I would call it, when you look at the finish and how the finish reacts with what condition the metal was in, again, just phenomenal. And I would be willing to bet that what you're seeing on video is not what I'm seeing in person, and that's unfortunate, because this is absolutely a stunning 1911 now. I mean, it was a cool 1911 to begin with. Started out life as, for the most part, a Black Army, and there was, again, a few parts that were questionable. The mainspring housing was arched instead of flat. All the pieces, you know, the H's and the G's and the proof marks and the numbers and the lettering and everything being in the right place pointed to a Black Army. And then the heart-shaped cutouts under the grip panels confirmed it's, you know, the bottom half is a Black Army for sure, and everything else is period correct for the Black Army. This just may not have come from the factory with all these original pieces minus the mainspring, but it sure is a very, very cool piece of history right now. And again, the finish is, I just wish, I'll find out when I edit the video to see the how the finish gets picked up in the light. It is just stunning. The fitting work for the beaver tail safety, the upgraded, the hammer. Again, just phenomenal work. And I don't have a single negative thing to say, other than, boy, I wish it would have been faster instead of almost 9 months. But you know, that's part of the process, and I'd rather have it done right than have it right now. So now that I do have it again, this will go out to the range and we will shoot this. And I'm very curious to see how it feels, because from a dry fire perspective, as well as which you can't see, and I don't know if I can line that up to where you can see that gold bead. That is just a beautiful sight picture. It fills the notch, and I'll find out when I go to the range to see what it looks like. So maybe we'll follow up with you know, what I would call the range results. Maybe take a video of it being at the range. Who knows? But in any case, this is part 2. They did, again, what I would call a phenomenal job with what they had to work with. This was not in the best shape. I thought it was a great donor gun for this particular project. And when you look at, you know, everything they've done in terms of how this now looks, how it feels, and all of the newer components on the inside of the firearm, this will be a pleasure to shoot and pull that trigger at 3 3/4 pounds. So we'll call this the end of part 2. Maybe a part 3 to come. And again, I'll hopefully be able to sprinkle some original pictures, some close-ups. If I don't remember if I took them, but if I did, I will include them in this video so that you can see potentially some befores and afters, a little more close up. But I wanted to keep the original grips. These are weathered, they're beautiful. There's almost no more texture to them because of their age, and I think they complement the firearm quite nicely. So once again, Nighthawk Colt, beautiful work. I'll do it against the backdrop of the leather, which is what I had it against, I think, last year. And that is that. Take care, folks.